What's up guys, Kurt here with another 5-minute guitar lesson. It's Tutorial Tuesday, so let's throw 5 minutes on the clock and learn Give Me Love by Ed Sheeran. Okay, so your first chord is going to be... Actually, on second thought, let's take a look at something more important first. Now hold up for 1 sec if you were thinking about skipping ahead, because if you miss this part, you're missing literally half the point of this song. Let me explain. So as a guitarist, or a singer, or a bed frame flute player, how you play notes is just as important as the actual notes you play. Take a look at this guy.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the... Anyone?
Pretty boring, right? Well, this is just how your guitar playing sounds to other people if you play every note with the same volume, the same intensity, and the same attack. This song specifically is a particularly emotional song, so if you don't capture the emotional highs and lows of this song on your guitar, it's not going to sound nearly as good as it could. Now keep this in mind as we're going through, because in the next section I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, let's get into it. So we're going to start with that little riff part that's played in the very intro of the song. And then it goes into the chords. So put your cape on your first fret and let's get started. So you're going to start by putting your third finger on the third fret of the fifth string. And then what we're going to do from here is you're actually going to play this kind of with a flat finger so that we can play the third fret of the fifth string and then roll it a little bit to play the third fret of the sixth string. See that, just that subtle little roll there? That's how you're going to get a smooth sound with this. So after that, you're going to play your pinky on the fourth fret of the sixth string, and then play the open fifth string. And then from there, we're going to grab an A minor chord. And then you can see the strumming pattern on the screen, and this is kind of the strumming pattern we're going to follow for most of this, but we are going to make some changes to make this more interesting, just like I was saying earlier. So then after that intro riff, we're going to grab our A minor and check out the strumming pattern. So look at the screen below, and then see if you can follow along. So that's how we're going to be playing the entire verse, all three chords, but we're going to throw in some cool parts to make it more interesting. One important thing to note here is that we're actually playing in 6/4 time instead of 4/4 time, which means in each strumming pattern we're going to count up to 6 beats instead of your usual 4. So in slow motion that kind of looks like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and... So now our basic strumming pattern, we're going to do that 6 beats on the A minor. Then we're going to switch to F, and the F I like to play for this song is not your full bar chord, which is really tough, also not the 4-string one, which is a little simpler. If you take this 4-string F chord with the bar on the first and second strings, second finger on the second fret of the third string, then put your pinky on the third fret of the fourth string, and then put your third finger all the way on the third fret of the fifth string. And if that's too tough for you, you can switch to the regular 4-string F chord, which you can see on the screen there. So then after we play that F, we're going to switch to a C, and we're going to play the C for twice as long as the A minor and the F. So altogether, that looks like this. Now, we can make this a lot more interesting than that, because that's pretty plain and boring like we talked about earlier. There's a lot of cool, subtle little things that Ed adds in this actual studio version of the song, so let's try those out. So how this is going to start is with our intro riff, and then this open fifth string is beat 1. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then continue on with our riff. and so on. Now the next thing we're going to do is with our chords, each of the chords that we're playing, we're going to play the downbeat, so the beat 1 and beat 4, harder than the others. This just kind of gives it an accent and emphasis and gives some of that variation we were talking about earlier. So that just makes some of those notes louder than the others. So now the next thing to add on to emphasize it even further is on the up, down, up, so not on the beats we were talking about earlier. We're going to try and play only the top few strings of the chord. This kind of gives it a thinner and smaller sound, and it's not too critical that you only hit, say, the first, second, and third string. That's kind of what you want to aim for, but if you hit the fourth string, it doesn't matter. It's more that you make the chords smaller and lighter. So what this looks like is this. And you can hear already that it really starts to make a difference in the overall sound of the song. And you can often play partial chords like this to emphasize certain beats if you want to. So then now we get into the really fun parts. So you're going to play your A minor and your F chords just like that, just leave it as is. But then when we switch to the C, we're going to add in a few interesting things. And these are optional. If you don't want to, you can skip to the next part. But these do kind of give it those flashy touches that makes it more interesting. So when you get to your C chord, you're going to play your first down, and then your up, down, up. And then on your next down, you're going to take this middle finger off, and you're going to play your chord, and then do a hammer on onto that second fret there. But if you don't know what that is, it's just basically taking your finger and hammering it like a hammer on the string. And it's subtle, but you can kind of hear it that it gives it a little accent. So that sounds like this. And then once you play that, it's going to be... And you're going to do beats 1 and 2 and 3 again. And then play the 5th string, then strum, and then grab the 2nd fret of the 5th string with your middle finger and do the same thing. And then restart your progression again. So that sounds like a lot, but if you rewind this video if you need to, you can probably figure it out. It makes sense to me at least, so hopefully it'll make sense to you guys. So here's the whole thing. And you can play that for the entire verse, or you can just do that for the intro, and then when you come in with the lyrics, you can switch to simpler chords to make it easier for you to sing at the same time. But that's kind of the whole cool thing altogether. Now don't click away just yet, because those aren't the chords used for the entire song, and if you try and do that, it's going to sound like a band practice where every instrument's playing a different song. So next let's move into the pre-chorus, and this is used in all the pre-choruses. Now we're going to use the same strumming pattern to make it simple, but our chord progression is going to change up a little bit, and I'll go through it quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a D minor, and we're going to play that for 2 bars. Then move to F for 2 bars. Then C for 2 bars. And then to G for 2 bars. And that's most of it. So altogether that sounds like this. And then to end off the pre-chorus, you're going to play D minor for 2 more bars, and then hold an F. And then the chorus comes in, which again has different chords, so let's take a look at them quickly. Okay, so the chorus again is going to change up the chords. We can use the same strumming pattern to keep it simple, but the other thing that's going to be different is that our chord changes are going to be quicker. So to keep this short and sweet, I'll just show you the chords on the screen here, and you can try and follow along and play it at your own speed. And that's the whole chorus right there. If you'll notice, the first three run-throughs are C, D minor, then F, and the F is played for twice as long. And then the last run-through goes back to our A minor, F, C that we see in the verse. And that's all there is to it for the chorus. Now, there's one last part to this song that I want to go over, and then you'll have the whole thing. So the final part's the bridge, and that's where he's got all the my-my-my-my's. So, we're going to use the same chords that we've used for the verse. A minor, F, C. The only thing we're going to do here is, instead of our strumming pattern that we've used for the rest of the song, we're going to switch and just do palm muted single beat strums. And remember that we're in 6/4 time, so we're not going to be counting to 4, but we're going to be counting to 6. So in this, we're going to do 3 strums on the A minor. 1, 2, 3. Then 3 strums on the F, and then 6 strums on C. And that's all there is to it for this section. And then you come into the next verse, and the rest of the song is history. So if you could play those 4 parts, you can play the entire song. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like and a comment, let me know. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next Tutorial Tuesday.